Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is John Red Strategist and welcome back to So You're Being Hunted. This is episode 581 with myself and Phil, would you believe, joining me by Skype, because that's never happened before, has it, Phil?
Sir, you're being hunted. Now then, that's very sexist, isn't it? How dare we?
We could be madam.
Sir slash madam, you're being hunted.
Yes.
Or indiscriminate gender, yes.
That too.
That's what you want to be. I'm joining again for another Sir, You're Being Hunted, and ready for some more. Oh, hasn't there been a countless amount of Sir, You're Being Hunted? Surely you must be the person on YouTube with the most number of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone will have ever achieved anywhere near the amount.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else who's So You're Being Hunted Let's Plays from back in the day will come even close to the number of episodes that I've done and all that.
Sure,
People
but
sometimes,
it's interesting because we've gone through
yeah.
so many topics, and obviously the last one was that was quite the last one was quite noble of you.
Oh yeah, the
In
PSA
that one,
yeah.
about that woman who turned out. You didn't mention in that video, but did you ever find out what the medical issue was?
I didn't find out what it was, but I mean, if I had to guess, because the thing is, the fact that she was calling for help means obviously she wasn't unconscious, but the fact she was having to call for help suggests to me that she wasn't able to get to a phone or anything. So I just wonder if maybe she'd been up early for whatever, maybe for like work or something, or for whatever reason, and had maybe just like fallen over and like done herself an injury and couldn't get up, something like that.
Okay,
that's probably what it would be.
So
well
well done to you for that.
Yeah.
Good work on there.
Indeed, yes. So, lesson from that, ladies and gentlemen, trust your gut instinct.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I think it'll be all too easy these days. You know, you hear sound coming from another apartment, you'd think, okay, it's probably nothing. It probably doesn't concern me. But no, it's just the more I listened to it, the more I felt uneasy, and I felt like, no, something's up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So well done there. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
So I brought Sir today because I thought it would be interesting about some life tips.
Life tips, you say?
But not like all sorts of various, but I thought we'd concentrate on just one life tip, and then if viewers are interested, we could do another So You're Being Hunted episode in the future with another life tip.
Okay, yeah.
But I've done it as a way to sort of help people out if they're struggling with doing what I'm going to suggest, and ways in which we can help them as well, because we've both gone through the rigmaroles, and that is the process of getting, of buying, renting, mortgaging a house or apartment, or something along that sort of that means. So these are what I was thinking of about life tips. Now, I don't think we've done. I'm just thinking in the past what we've done. I remember we did job applications and interviews. I remember we did on that, and you've done one way back where you talked about university life and university tips.
Indeed.
That was a very old episode, and also about debating and essay writing.
Essay writing, debating, critical thinking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I thought there's certainly something we can do in future So You're Being Hunted episodes as well. But in this particular one, all about, maybe we can help our viewers. There might be some viewers out there who are might be going into finally moving away from the parents and wanting to get their own house or wanting to rent their own place. So I thought it'd be good to just discuss the ideas of what sort of happens. Because we've both got different styles. You more went the renting route, and I went for a full-on house route. So do you want to start with the sort of processes that you went through?
So my big sort of piece of advice is, if you're ever going to rent a place, always go and view the place before you make any decision. Because the thing is, even if you feel like you're under time pressure, it is better to actually view somewhere and make sure that it is definitely up to
one for you. You don't want to walk in, open the door and go, right, this is for me, I shall take this one. All you peasants will give it to me.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because the thing about if you go on like sites where landlords offer properties to rent, so like places like, I don't know, like Rightmove and Purple Brick and Bricks and stuff like that. Zoopla, yeah.
Zillow, I think.
Obviously, the sort of pictures they show will always be very carefully curated to make it look very good.
Yeah,
but you've got to see it for yourself to actually verify, is it actually that good? Because I remember when I first moved down south, and I looked at a few possible rentals, and there were a couple of them where the pictures made it look very good, but once you actually got in and looked at it, you realised very quickly that it wasn't very good.
Wasn't for you.
Yeah, there was one in particular where the pictures were really good, but once we actually got in there and looked at it, I quickly realised it had a lot of issues. Like, like cupboard doors in the kitchens were not on properly.
Oh,
Just the
no.
general layout of
Yeah.
the flat was really just weird. Like there were stains on the carpet, there were all kinds of stuff that whoever had taken the pictures had clearly made sure to take an angle that avoided showing anything like that. So
Yeah.
always view before making a decision on whether you buy a place. So that way you're not caught out by anything basically. So that's definitely number one piece of advice I would give about renting.
Yeah, but you've got to be careful, because remember, with renting, you're not owning anything. You're just giving money to
Yeah.
a landlord every month.
Indeed.
For the privilege of just being in the place, really.
Yeah. And the thing is, you've always got to be sort of ready and save up a bit of money in case, because obviously your landlord could always at any point say, "I'm sorry, but I want to sell up the property, so I'm going to have to give you a month or a couple of months to move out." So you always need to be ready for that as well.
Yeah,
that's the problem with
as well.
renting. Yeah, because apart from the fact that, I mean, thing is with renting's always good as like a stopgap measure, but it's not something that you want to be in the long term, because it's dead money.
No,
Yeah.
it's annoying as
Yeah.
well, and if you do any sort of wrongdoings, like any like damages or anything, then you could be, because they take a deposit.
Yeah,
Is that right?
they do. They take a deposit at the start of the tenancy, and they'll keep hold of that. And obviously, when your tenancy ends, they'll try to give it back to you. But obviously, if there's anything about the property, like in terms of damage or any like cleaning that needs to be done, then it will come out of that deposit. So, just something to remember, ladies and gentlemen. Look
It also
after
depends
your
on the
rental.
price. Sometimes renting can be cheaper, but not in all scenarios.
Not in all scenarios, no.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing is, the sort of properties that I rented, the flats that I rented, they were on the more expensive side. But, granted, you do get something a bit better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you've got
Well,
to think
it's,
carefully
it's,
about what you
it's
can
the thing,
afford.
isn't it? You get what you pay for. It's
Yeah.
it's such a cliched saying, but
Indeed,
it's so totally true.
it is.
If you spend a bit more, you get a bit more. But I must say that prices down with you are a lot expensive. That's the
are.
thing how it works in the UK. For people who are not familiar with the UK, in the south, it's properties is a lot more expensive than it is in
Yeah.
the north.
Indeed. And that's saying something, considering even some properties in the north can be quite expensive at times.
Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah.
it's because it's because you're
Well.
getting closer to the capital.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
It's partly
'cause-
that. I think it's also just because there's a lot of like southern counties and things which are quite desirable places to live.
As well.
it's probably-
Should we see what happened if we
yeah.
moved London to the north? That starts.
Yeah. But it's also just other pressures, like obviously inflation at the moment adds on to it, and then of course there's the fact that here in the UK we've had a lot of like housing problems over the last few decades. of
housing crises. Yeah.
just the scale of new homes and things being built is just not keeping pace with demand and all that. So as a result,
Make sure you
prices
have
are
a
going up.
good relationship and a rapport with your landlord as
Yeah.
well. I know there's all these sorts of landlord horror stories
Oh yes, indeed.
with various people,
Yeah.
and make sure they're willing to fix things. Hopefully you have, like, if something like the tap breaks on the shower or something, they'll be
Yeah.
coming in. They'll be okay to fix it, and
Yeah.
they do it promptly as well.
Yeah, I was lucky the first place I rented. I had a very good landlord who was very responsive. If you reported any like problems, he would usually be very quick in responding
And get
to
it
them.
sorted. Yeah, I remember the famous Sir Being Hunted episode with the smoke alarm
Oh
woes.
god, that yes.
Yeah.
Where the battery was going on it and it started bleeping at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh fuck, no. And I had
Yeah,
to wait,
but
of course,
look
till
at
the
it.
morning. But luckily, he came out like literally the next morning and got it sorted.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
good. So you need that good rapport, because they will always help you,
Yeah.
landlords, if you establish a good and if you make sure you pay your rent on time.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, when you're searching for rental properties. If, for example, the person showing you around is maybe like a lettings agent or someone like that, I would say don't be afraid to ask them about sort of maintenance and things like that. How quickly can I expect that to be dealt with if a problem does come up, something like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
the last thing you want, like Phil says, is a landlord who just doesn't give a shit and just doesn't like undertake repairs or anything like that. Yeah, that can always be a bit of a nightmare.
Oh God, can't it just?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's renting, but you're no longer renting anymore, are you?
No,
You've
actually,
now managed to buy your own place,
Yeah.
mortgaged.
Buy an actual proper flat that is my own. It's a lot cheaper because the mortgage payments are a lot less.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's for me. As for me, I have my own house, It's sort of an apartment, even though you've mortgaged. But I have a house with a mortgage, which I got some help from my parents and grandparents. They helped foot a bit towards that, and obviously I pay on that and a house insurance every month. That's the number one thing I must tell you. You can't have a mortgage without house insurance. They will not give you one. They will not give you a mortgage unless you have house insurance. You have to buy house insurance as well. Now, house insurance covers all the things that basically things in your house that are what called stick. Don't move. So doors, windows. You can pay extra for the things, like that do move, like tables, computers, TVs, chairs, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what mortgages want. They want the basic house insurance, which is cover everything that doesn't move. But it's good to get extra as well. But yes, I got a mortgage and I got my own house, which is wonderful news. And I pay on that every month. And I again, if you wanted to go that route and not rent and actually buy a house, you'll need to do as Andrew says, go and view it. Because we saw a nice house, okay, and when we turned up, the carpet was filthy. Stains all over it. Lots of black marks. All in camp. So we thought, nope, and walked out. And then I found this place that you've come plenty of times, and absolutely gorgeous. And I've a very good house I've got as well. And this is I've come straight from living with my parents to living in my own place. And the reason I moved into my own place, well, to get away from my parents was the main, but it's also close to my work. It's also close to my work. Originally when I lived with my parents, it was a half an hour drive to work. It's now 8 minutes.
Easy then.
And I don't even have to use the motorway. So I can just go in the back routes. But that's when I go in the office. Obviously now, since all COVID's happened, I mean that was fun. We're going in 5 days a week. But now I only go in the office 2 days a week. But
there's things to sort of think about when you're looking for a place. Like, how far is it from your workplace? Is it within easy sort of reach of local amenities, so like petrol stations? If you have a car, shops.
You've seen how close is that Asda to me?
I know, very close, isn't it?
Bloody hell, it's round the corner. You can walk it, and I've got loads of other supermarkets nearby. All the big major supermarkets here in the UK are very close to me. So I've got Asda there, I've got Sainsbury's not too far away, the Morrison's not too far away, and a Tesco is certainly close as well. And I can get to my things that I like doing, like it's only a 8-9 minute drive to the gym.
Indeed.
From my house. So I can go there and do my gym session. And then, like I said, it's easy to work. But that's so I've got my own place, and I live away. My parents now, well, they live quite distant, but not that far. It's about a 25-minute drive to see them. So I go down and see them. Sometimes say hello, but it's a fun experience. It's buying your house, and it's also it can be a bit of a sort of anxious experience as well. If you've never lived away from your parents. Luckily, I had the experience of going to university.
Indeed.
And I got to live away from my parents then. But I will tell you, the first day I moved into my flat or little house when I was at university, and that was the first time being away from my parents. I was unbelievably homesick on that.
Indeed.
But then it gradually got better. And now, but if you don't decide to go to university or don't do anything that and live away, this might be your first time living away from your parents if you decide to move away. So it could be a bit of an experience, but no doubt they'll help you move all your things in and all your necessary equipment for your kitchens, your bathroom, your lounge and everything.
There's the thing that I was just thinking, like, for example, about the process of because we've talked a bit about obviously getting elimination. We've talked a bit about mortgages and getting, obviously if you're buying a property you're going to need a mortgage and all that. And one sort of piece of advice that is always necessary is whenever you go looking at properties and things like that, make sure you have an idea of what sort of kind of like mortgage banks would be prepared to lend you, so get an agreement in principle, because most banks on their websites you can basically get sort of like an idea of how much potentially they would lend you, because they usually have like basic mortgage calculators, or you can like contact them and ask for a mortgage advisor to just give you an agreement in principle, in which case
or you might be flush with cash and you'd be able to actually afford the house without a mortgage.
I doubt many young people are in that position today, Phil, but unless they've got the bank of mum and dad that they can fall back upon. But agreements in principle always necessary, because I find sometimes depending on the estate agent or the developer, if it's like a new build or anything like that, they might well ask you, do you have like an agreement in principle in terms of how much a bank would be potentially prepared to lend you, and usually that's quite helpful to have. So that's usually a sort of a good first step for calculating how much mortgage you'd be able to afford and all that. So do that and then have a look around.
Once you have
available.
that, see which banks will help you out, or building societies, or whoever will help you get that, because that's what you need in order for a house. My sister's currently looking for a new house as well, and she's gonna she's trying to sort out the mortgage, having a bit of a funny time with that at the moment, but just trying to get that sorted so they can get a new place.
Indeed.
But that's the key thing of moving in. But once you've got all that settled and you pay the you might also need a special lawyer as well. Because
solicitor,
that's it. Solicitor.
Yeah, you do need a solicitor, because they'll deal with all the paperwork.
They do all the paperwork to help you get moved in. But you'll have to go through all that. Get them, and they will. I remember mine when I moved in was fantastic. And we worked it all out, got them in, and they got me to get in the house. So that's the main thing. And obviously, once you finally get in, moving all your stuff in. Whew,
it's a good feeling, isn't it?
Well, it can be a nightmare doing that.
True.
Most places do leave things like fridges and stuff. You might have a fridge. I had an integrated dishwasher, not dishwasher, sorry, washing machine. And a tumble dryer as well, which was really good. So I got those. But you might get a few what they're called white goods. Already in the house, but then obviously moving everything in, so that will be difficult. So get some help if needed. To move it all in.
Indeed. Something else, actually, sorry, I'm just sort of going back again to sort of the actual process of buying and all that, but something else to be wary of. I mean, certainly we're using a lot of UK terminology here, but I imagine it's probably fairly similar in other countries as well. With obviously like houses and apartments, obviously some terms that are always necessary to have an understanding of are things like freehold versus leasehold, shared ownership, things like this, knowing basically under what sort of arrangements you're actually buying the property. So if like you're buying a house, if it's freehold, it basically means not only do you own the building, you also own the land on which it's situated. Whereas if it's leasehold, you basically own the building, but you don't actually own the land it stands on. That actually belongs to someone else. So that's something that can complicate it a bit.
Oh, maybe the landowner here he is. Maybe you have to ask the landowner. Whoever he is. Hello, where's the landowner? Need to buy a property, please. Here.
He's around here somewhere, Phil. But so that's something else to watch out for. With buying apartments, though, there's other considerations you have to bear in mind, because here in the UK, there's a bit of like a funny sort of legal situation where new apartments that have been built after a certain date, you only have to pay like a yearly service charge on them, whereas flats that are older than a certain date, you also have to pay like a ground rent, which is another cost that can add on. And what makes it even worse is that depending on the building, ground rents can sometimes like double every few years. Because like, for example, the first apartment I ever looked at buying, which incidentally was the first apartment I'd ever rented, I discovered that like the ground rent on that one was ridiculous. It like started out about something like 150 a year, but every sort of 10 years it doubles. So it would have gone like 150, 300, 600,
oh god,
1,200 a year.
That was a dent in your wallet.
Yeah, that would have been quite horrible. That would have, combined with obviously mortgage payments and things like that. It just would have been a bit of a nightmare.
You had a funny, a bit unfortunate moment, because you basically moved like 3 times.
Indeed.
You're finding nice and secure, which is what you wanted as well.
Indeed, it's a bit more security actually owning the flat. Because that way
there's
no
so
landlord
much more security.
Kick you out if something is up or whatever.
It's all about just getting that all that you have to. Yes, you'll have to go through the horrible rigmaroles of doing all that mortgages and going with a solicitor to sort it. But once you're in, and you'll that's when you get to enjoy the new amenities of your house and do any other arrangements that you want to. We have now in the UK. I'm not quite sure how it is in other countries, but we have 3 styles of houses: detached, semi-detached, and terraced are the main ones. Now, detached is where the house is completely standing on its own, and there's nothing nothing with it on any sides. Semi-detached means it's attached to a house on one side, and then terraced means attached to houses on both sides. So those are the sort of ones you get. Obviously, terrace houses are famous in the infamous council houses we have here.
Yeah, a lot of old like Victorian era terraced housing is a common thing here in the UK. Because obviously back in the day, like 1900s, it was sort of 1800s, 1900s, it was always like cheap housing for obviously like factory workers and things like that in cities.
Yeah, that's why I do it. So. Yeah, it's always nice to have your own place to come back to and be like, just put your feet up once you've put your slips on, and just chill and relax. And if you're Andrew, watch thousands of hours of anime.
Thousands of hours may be a bit of an exaggeration, but yes.
No, not an exaggeration at all. But yeah, that's the I just thought it'd be a little bit interesting to explain the process of moving into houses and what to expect when you go through that process. But key thing to remember is always go for lots of viewings.
Yeah.
So you can assess what you think about the house.
Yes. If you're buying an apartment, ask about the lease, how many years are left on it. That's something else.
Okay,
Talking to a estate agent or whoever, because ideally you want the lease to have, hundreds of years left on it. You don't want it to be sort of low in case you ever have to like resell or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just thinking about, long-term future stuff.
That's what you got to think. Yeah, exactly. But make sure you view it. Everything looks fine. If don't just go. Yeah, don't just go to the viewing zone. Go with a friend. Go with a family member. Because it's always the two heads are better than one. They might be able to spot something that you didn't spot.
Indeed.
Time. And remember, you can go for more than one viewing.
You can.
So and you might find something on your second viewing.
Yeah.
When you go. So. Do go more than once, definitely, if you like it, that is.
Yeah, and think when you're viewing, for example, if it's like an older property, it's not a new build, be on the lookout basically for anything that might be like a hidden cost when you buy it, in terms of anything that might need refurbishing or repairing. Because like, for example, the second flat that I rented, again, I was thinking a bit, is this something potentially I could put an offer in on? But the more I thought about it, the more I thought no, because the problem is like the main sort of water heater would have needed replacing, and that would have been like an extra cost and things like this. I just thought no. So I'm glad I ended up
extra
where
cost.
I am.
That's what you got to think of. It adds up.
Yeah.
So and that's what we have to. That's what we have to be careful of.
Indeed.
All adds up.
But then again, if you got a fair amount of savings, maybe you do want to buy somewhere that's a bit of a fixer-upper, so you can make your mark on it and all.
Yeah,
that.
there's that. There's people do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed.
There's loads of places where people like to fix up things.
As Marge Simpson says in that one Simpsons episode where she becomes a estate agent, it's a handyman's dream, which is a estate agent way of saying it's dilapidated and it needs a lot of repairs done to it.
I know that at the moment my parents are doing a extension to their kitchen, so they're going to have a big kitchen with a sort of conservatory space. So they're doing that, and apparently it's going to be finished August time. So some people, that's not too far away.
Some people do get really into that though, like buying a property and then like really just doing it up, things like that. Yeah. Some people really like find that a bit of a hobby. They do enjoy it.
Some people go really far and get like really dilapidated old shacks or something, and really do them up.
Conversions and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose people who have quite a bit of spending money and probably are retired.
Yeah, probably.
So they've got all the time in the world to do that. Yeah.
Indeed. Retired people who've probably been, spent 30 years of their lives working as freaking marketing executives or something, so have hundreds of thousands of pounds to splash out on a house.
Out doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true, indeed. Yes, it just really actually makes me think though of like all these property programs that you see here in the UK, where it's like, it's some couple and it's like Derek and Elaine are retirees. Derek used to work as a company CEO in London. He has a total budget of £3 million. Things like this. It's
and
like,
he wants to buy this house.
Yes.
Oh, it's like that famous. Do you remember that Mitchell and Webb look?
Oh,
famous
yes.
skit, the one where this is Derek who wants to buy a house. This is a house, Derek. Do you want to buy it? Yeah. Who wants to buy it? Let's look at it next time. Last time we saw Derek wants to buy a house. Yeah. Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah.
So funny.
A program of watching people buying a house and then living in it.
That's it. That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
What are you going to do with the property, Derek? I might put some shelves up. Okay, well we'll catch up with Derek next time when he's put some shelves up. Yeah, things like that. That was a genius skit, though.
That was.
Yeah.
Here's Derek. What have you done there? I put some shelves up.
Yeah.
Put some shelves up.
Indeed. It's such like an archetypal British daytime TV program, though. Like location, location, location.
Home
relocation,
improvements.
relocation,
Yeah.
Grand designs.
So many things.
Homes
Yeah.
under
Just
the
looking
hammer.
at people.
Yeah.
Just people watching, doing their houses up,
Yeah.
and then discussing it. Oh, I like the view. It
Yeah.
looks really nice.
Indeed, indeed. You just think to yourself, how many programs can they make of that kind? But yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
How many got things?
Indeed.
Well.
Phil.
There we go then. So a bit of advice on that. Now, if viewers are interested, let us know for live tips, and we can find another live tip to go through.
Yes.
To help you out. Like we said, we've done some in the past before,
Yeah.
but if there's any particular live tip that you want us to go through that you don't understand or you're struggling with,
Yeah.
it could be anything, any live tips you want, even maybe something mundane, how to efficiently spread butter on your toast.
Yes, I can give a few recommendations about that there, Phil.
Well, in all seriousness, yes, if anyone's interested in any particular one, or if you've got any ideas that you don't understand or you need a bit more advice, just
Let us know.
have a go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me there, Phil.
Live tips with the duo of fun.
Yes, the duo of fun. That's a new one, is it, Phil?
It is.
That's our new title, is it? All right. Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, I'll like us, of course, always appreciating all that jazz. But that, this is two of us signing off now. Goodbye, Phil.
Good, but make sure to buy lots of houses, people. Buy
Yes.
lots of them. Buy lots of that. That's subliminal messaging going through there. Buy lots of houses.
Yes. I'm not sure you call that subliminal, but, because it's very overt. But, yeah. But goodbye, everybody. Go further in. Why? Alright, I'm bracing myself. I'll be right there. Oh, you. I don't trust that you will be. I don't want to be in here. Have you got fucking doors that are remotely operated or something? Ugh. Christ almighty, it's just a person, but that scared the shit out of me. It was a fucking ghost or something. What's wrong with you, woman? Right, well, there's your D. Your package D. Christ, God. It looks so weird, it looks so flat. Hey, what are you doing? That package, it's a bed frame. You're going to help me build it, right? Oh, I didn't sign up for this, I'm just the delivery person. God, why are you like that? Why are you the way you are? Good Lord. Alright, fine. Where are we sent? So, do you not have lights in this fucking place?